times.
Yeah,
I was thinking like Bohemian Grove shit since the Vatican's in town, you know.
He looks like he's ready to sit down with a pilgrim and eat some
Isn't
turkey.
the Vatican a building? How is it in town?
So I can
actually
Principality.
it's a micro country. Yeah.
I can provide some context when in regards to that. It's being written down right now. But I kind of want to start with kind of filling you guys in as to what's been going on the last 2 weeks, and as well as some of the things that are a bit urgent. I appreciate you guys coming to an emergency meeting, as I do believe some of these matters need to be brought forward in advance of something popping off and y'all wondering what the fuck's going on. Let's start with the immediate. Yesterday, I'm sure y'all are somewhat aware about the zombie outbreak that is sort of tied to what is transpiring right now. I personally do not have the full context of it just yet, as I only just learned about it about 30 minutes ago. But let me kind of roll back. Over the last 2 weeks, I have gone ahead and removed a series of marshals. After having conducted not just an audit on matters of state actors, enemies of the state, using the reference that, the colloquial version rather than the one that, hopefully gets through legislation. Be it Faceless, be it a new organization showing up called Lagara, etc., etc. I've effectively learned that the previous iteration of the marshals, pretty much over the last year, I'd say, have sat on their ass, have not really written as many reports as needed, and have not really acted on those things. To provide you an example, after having collated existing documents, going through existing evidence that sat in lockers, we were able to track down a crate over at the Russian docks that had been moved. After identifying a suspected crate, we worked with the Port Authority, opening it up and finding a series of just crates of cash and security cameras, subsequently leading to us effectively having a faceless asset showing up and showing his face. Is everyone here familiar with this is a very awkward conversation since you guys are justices, and how deep do I go with this, given,
I know a decent amount because I was the one that signed Gunnell's subpoenas.
Okay. May I ask, at the end of the day, if we end up with someone like at the top of the faceless actually getting brought in front of a jury or in front of a judge, a panel, I feel like that is going to be a matter that's going to be hard for anyone based on our current conflict shit to really be able to oversee. Am I correct in saying so, or
I basically haven't dealt with anything.
Yeah, if anything, Grayson really hasn't dealt with it personally much, but between me and Murray,
mm-hmm.
I think me and Murray are the only ones that have had direct contact with anybody like that.
Okay, so
when these things kind of happen, one of us steps aside and tries to remain completely unconscious.
Okay,
right. So I just haven't engaged with any of it. So if you're gonna get into details, I'll step outside for a while.
I'll leave it up to you as to how deep I go, because some of this we don't know, right? If it shows up in a court case or not, or whether I want to make sure I'm not going too deep, but at the same time, I'm trying to be respectful here so as not to conflict you out. So I'll tread as carefully as I can. Well, there's you know what? It might be worth stepping out on this particular one, and I'll make it rather quick.
No problem.
So we have our primary entity, Mr. Blue, who we suspect to be the primary arm of the Faceless when it comes to interacting with citizens of San Andreas, and whether it's like offering them up things or instructing them to do the Faceless's bidding. We have recently also learned that there are a series of cards. Well, this isn't recent. I've known about it, which you may or may not have heard of. There's like a blue card, a red card, a black card. Black card meaning death.
Sean got one.
Really?
Yeah, I got a blue card like back in December.
So there has been a presumption, primarily because this is what has been told by the Faceless, either directly to Dark or directly to others, that it's almost inferred that it's stepwise. You get blue, which means like you're marked. Red means like you're in trouble, and black means we're gonna kill you off, right? However, after Mr. Blue personally delivered a USB device to me, which I didn't realize till afterwards, a device in which it showed Opal Price and Gunner deciding that the evidence was more valuable to them than than themselves. They attempted to defuse a C4 inside of a crate of weapons, right? Instead of running the fuck out. The video was titled Mousetrap. Now, I don't know if y'all have seen this video, but that was delivered to me. Very shortly thereafter, I ran the DNA, came back to Mr. Blue. Shortly after that, I witnessed a green in color helicopter attempting to sort of like a leprechaun bring me to a location. It would fly close and then fly a different direction. This individual was wearing green. And he eventually gave us a green card. So labeled the collector. Now, the reason I sort of bring that up is our presumption based on all this is that these are actually different individuals with different responsibilities among that organization. To bring it back home, I don't believe that these things would have resurfaced had we not gone back and gone through these reports. Now, what I would like to do perhaps in the next week or so, as soon as the resources allow, is I'm going to be producing some sort of docket, or not docket, dossier, which will not only enumerate what has happened thus far, but what the active threat is. I think when we go out there on the street and we ask people, what is it that the Faceless, why are the Faceless bad? Why is Mr. Blue bad? What's the danger? There's not really any concrete answer to that, right? And I want to get there because not only should the government know, but as should the public. Because how are you going to fight an enemy by allowing it to fester and keeping all those records close? I know that there is a bit of a dynamic where previously where everything was kept behind lock and key. That's not the world I want to live in personally, nor the direction I want the marshals to be in. If you're dealing with Osama bin Laden, you don't hold that information tight because someone might end up befriending them. And at that stage, is it really their fault? How the fuck would they have known, right? That being said, we have evidence that they have in their possession a nuclear device. We also have evidence suggesting they have a neurotoxin, both of which that they, under some conditions, may deploy on the citizens of San Andreas. Who their target is, whether it's the entire island or whether it's a subset thereof, it's currently unclear. But second, as of about it,
now,
go ahead.
can I ask a probing question
Yes.
there, if you don't mind? There was a time where some type of toxin was released through humane labs. Is that related? I believe it was called the black goo at the time.
the feds have we probed the feds in regards to it, and things revolving around, I forgot what the guy's name is, he died, is rather irrelevant and forged.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think some of the confusion may be now this is kind of one of these touchy things where I don't believe there's any relationship. I think the black goo was a happenstance and the feds came in and dismantled the black goo, from my understanding, through a release, and they managed to stop that problem.
I understand.
It was bad enough that the federal agents came in. But I know the previous director was going down a rabbit hole in regards to some of that. I know some people still think that there's a connection, which, once you take the rabbit out of the hat, it's hard to put it back in. But there is strictly no relationship, like direct relationship, but any relationships that may come as a consequence are simply as a consequence, right? So I'm going to provide a just example. Because the Humane Lab incident with black goo happened like a day apart from the faceless related one, there's been confusion there's been intermingling of that evidence, right?
Sure.
Like, so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Any questions, any other questions about faceless related matters?
Not for
yes. About a couple hundred class 2s that are going to be hitting the streets. We operated, now we sort of deal with a problem today where, I want to work with both local police departments. We need them. They need us. And we have run about, I think, 3 separate operations thus far. The first of which happened, I think, 2 days into my tenure, 3 days into my tenure. In said operation, we were attempting to stop what was effectively a weapons deal with organization La Garra. It's a cartel, unknown where their base is currently versus what was in the past. But unfortunately, at the end of it, due to resources and otherwise, individuals were able to get their hands on a USB. The USB of which led to a series of containers with M70s in it. I'm sort of skimming over the depths of the details. Those M70s have yet to surface, as far as I'm aware, but they're likely to surface soon. The good news in regards to it is that it doesn't mean it's being produced here, which means there will be another opportunity to stop it, and we have strings to pull on to perhaps find where they are stashed. But I think that's certainly something that y'all need to be aware of, if you in terms of government safety or whatever. But I think that's it on Faceless, I think, for the time being. Well, outside of elements of the Faceless attempting to make their way into the government, which includes ex-marshals that I have booted.
Christ.
Yeah. So, that is probably going to be the biggest issue that we're going to be seeing, is the way that I like to phrase it is everyone wants to suck on that blue popsicle, right? Because the Faceless will attempt to give you things that you feel you need, fill that empty space that you may have in your life, promise you things, but little do you know that you're getting enslaved. And those who try to separate either find out the hard way, death, or, you have your entire civilization bombarded like the one, like New Babylon.
Okay.
Oh, one last thing. With the cooperation of Sama, and a very detailed operation. We were able to extract a Darkstone asset from the hospital and extract him out of the state about 3 days ago. That operation was, we were able to thwart Faceless. Had that operation not come through, we would not have had likely the access that we do today with Darkstone, helicopters, etc., etc. So there's a lot happening right now. A lot of firings, a lot of internal investigations to ensure shit doesn't go completely south. But rather transparently, gentlemen, ma'am, we don't have a lot of people right now. A lot of the old ones are just fucking idiots, which hence, you know, the rip bozos. I didn't realize how much there was to do until I got into the seat. We are actively hiring. We've brought 4 people in. Jackson Lane, Sean Duncan, Duncan Fenwell for, you know, people that might be misbehaving in the police department because he's going to yap you to death.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And finally, a new cadet, which we call him a recruit, who's around the corner. Obviously, you know of some of the transfers. McNulty has transferred over, as has Ruthbrook. All right. I know this is a lot to take in, but you know, there's a lot that's happened in these last 2 weeks. All right, cool.
Yeah. If you had to estimate, you know, which way the pendulum's swinging between, you know, a Faceless, you know, victory and catching them, where would you say that is? If you can even
they are
make that
winning.
assessment.
They're winning so dramatically. And I think that's where this enemy of the state thing kind of comes into play, is like people are treating working with the Faceless like doing a bank truck. And I'm not here to, you know, my goal is to turn these people around, right? You may have worked for them at one point or another. I get it. People don't have money. They looking for their own success in life in a world where there aren't many avenues to take. I get that. The biggest challenge right now is to get the message out there, to get our evidence together, to make a case for the Faceless and its primary, you know, arms to be labeled for what they are. And then I think the pendulum starts to move, right? It goes back to, if you don't know that someone is a terrorist, how do you know not to work for them? How do you know it's not just a small job, right?
Well, you have a new wrinkle in that. Unfortunately, the enemy of the state bill was contested last night.
Okay.
A member of the Hounds.
Yeah.
I do know I spoke to her yesterday, and her worry is some of the wording is a bit loose as to who can be designated it, and doesn't want, like, for obvious reasons, doesn't want like her group to be designated it because
I would have told her respectfully they're not on the radar of enemies of the state.
Well, that's what I said. I said that in a very nice way, and I tried to explain it the best I could, and I think the what she brought up to me was just more so clearing up vocabulary rather than she's not against the concept, but
yeah,
just wants to clear up some of the vocabulary to make it less open.
I don't think there's an issue with the vocabulary. I think the issue is with interpretation, if I'm being honest.
I personally think
that's what I tried to push to her and say that, like, that the intention isn't for small time gangs to be designated enemies of the state. It's like for people who are actually trying to overturn the state of San Andreas.
Yeah.
I would, my opinion is that the language is accurate, and we're talking about something that is like federal level, and that any change of that is going to be dangerous, and that maybe someone almost needs to borderline knock on a wall here. That the intent of this is like the feds need to hear from their federal lawyer whether, you know.
I mean, yeah, it's just like how the feds told us about certain statute of limitations that opened up recently.
Is
or
that
if someone's okay to be executed?
Oh, you're going to be speaking with her.
Yes.
Michael is.
Oh,
Yeah,
easy.
We're gonna talk tonight. If you're around for that night, I'd love for you to be there. Likewise
100%.
for the DOJ, if the DOJ can have some representation there.
Yeah.
I think you guys being there and explaining that the threshold is extremely high for this designation, that would be good.
Yeah, I spent like a good 45 minutes on the phone with her yesterday, just kind of illustrating that the bar is.
Maybe we just go over there and
high.
we just, you know, have her think real deeply.
Yeah, I think that's what is what needs to be done, because I understand the fear, but obviously we all
it's
know
so
that's
hard
the
to
case.
turn that into this.
Yeah. That's what I tried to illustrate is look, the bar it has to be I mean, I was like, you've read the news, right? You've heard of the faceless.
I think the other thing which is the reality is otherwise we're subjecting everyone to getting, because once the marshals get cooking, right? Do I really want to start charging everyone with treason and terrorism? That would be cooked. And that's what this is preventing. Because
it brings the scope back to the real treasonous to the state.
You do a faceless mission, technically you should be getting treason. Well, that's my argument. Once it's established, it's you're just aiding and abetting them, which is Ripozo, right?
Yeah. There is the elephant in the room that if this does get contested and it does go to vote or gets stripped down, it's going to be on the next mayor to push it forward because of the cool down period, right? So
yeah, I think with the conversation, I think it should resolve itself. Because what I explained to her is that I did that without knocking on the wall, like you're saying, Brian.
Yeah,
this was it looked, the bar is really high.
Yeah.
It's not meant for you guys are fucking around at the shooting judges at the courthouse. It's meant for people who are.
Does it make sense to just on the docket do what I just thought about?
I guess
I could ask the feds.
Yeah.
I think it's worth an ask.
I'll send the governor an email.
That's what basically that's what I was trying to do in the phone call, was kind of just be like, hey, look, it's not.
I had a red phone. I had a red. We've got a little phone painted red in the marshal's office, and I got in contact with the federal attorneys for the faceless.
Right.
Mr. Dillinger, Esquire, fucking real asshole, and those clarities were made as well, and I think one meeting later, even if I think bringing it to the point, knocking on the wall, I think they'll get it, and
I won't be at any meeting with the hounds around.
Well,
we should probably get Grayson, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I think that's fine. I have no reason to believe that she wants to arbitrate in bad faith. So if we have that chat that needs to extend that far, then I think that'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think once it does, I think the message will be received.
Yeah.
That's how it reads to me, and I understand how someone doesn't see it like that, especially someone who feels victimized by the system. So I get it, but I think if that needs to be done, I think at that point it'll make sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's how I've seen it. I've seen it just like when somebody, like what Brian's saying, the Fed's saying, nah, this person doesn't have a statute of limitations anymore. Fuck this person.
Well, and there's a whole nother wrinkle that Knight, I don't know how much you know about this, but I have reason to believe that Junior Huntley is missing. And if there is an amendment to that legislation, he would need to sign off on it. So it effectively, it goes up as is, or it doesn't go up.
I mean, I think
does that segue into the next topic?
Yeah, he might be missing. It might be doctored. I have marshals looking into it. My marshals now, their command. That's a standard. Those who fall below it get demoted.
What are we talking about? Doctored?
Like,
it may have been staged.
There's a video.
There's a
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have no idea about that.
So
They found out about it earlier when they asked for backtracking on Junior.
now, what I mentioned there, I expect to kind of remain among the room, right?
Mm.
Right.
Even though it's getting out there. Look, I'm gonna just speak rather frankly. I cannot wait. Oh man. It's very hard to investigate some things because things turn SBS really quickly. I take the Junior stuff very seriously, right? If he's missing, he's missing. If it's, something else, there's like prerogatives he's allowed. He's, there's nothing illegal necessarily of, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that need to really be thought through. However, in the midst of this, you have local police departments like saying so-and-so like, hey man, I fucking killed his ass, and like trolling people over it. So it is a bit of a shit show, just openly. I had Rissa Berry received a phone call that he's dead and they found the body, and then another phone call that inferred that they were the killer and they killed him. So it's like a walking fucking roads violation, among other things. Yeah. Now, I don't have the bandwidth or the patience to deal with that, quite frankly, because there's other priorities that take any wrongdoing's already polluted, in my opinion.
Ugly, I'll speak frankly, right? He's a sitting mayor. It's an election week. He got taken off the campaign trail. If that was against his will, anybody interfering and engaging in obstruction of justice should face more serious charges. I'm going to be real on that. That's bullshit. Because at some point, it actually interferes with the running of our democracy.
Is there any lead, Knight? I haven't seen the video, so I obviously don't know what you know or don't know at this point. But is it so tainted that you effectively can't pursue it?
We don't know, right? It's hard to say. It's making matters more difficult, right? Until we come to a the thing with these sort of investigations is there's a couple avenues. Like, think of it this way, right? We have a starting point, and there's a couple. There's some forks in the road, and we have to navigate all of those forks and see which one is leading us to the most appropriate conclusion. However, upon going down those many forked forks, we have a bunch of degenerates who are bored. And see anything. Look, you guys have seen it, right? I think you understand where I'm going with this. Is some of those forks are some of the degeneracy is bad enough that it could obstruct, but it's hard to know if it's obstructed because we don't know what's at the end of the road just yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say he is missing and he ends up winning. Wayne County doesn't. Or do they? Did they sign that thing you passed, Michael? I don't remember.
The succession? I don't believe that they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it was very early in my term. I want to say like second or third week. So you're effectively talking about special election right after, right? You can't just give it to the number two.
I mean, given the current political climate around Junior, he might not win. That land deal really pissed people off, but
yeah, Junior also he also had a 15-month impact before that, so I think there's a very real possibility that he still wins regardless of recent impressions of him.
Yeah. Oh,
We're gonna have to
man.
figure out what the fuck we do if he's MIA. If he's MIA, he doesn't get sworn in. Do we have to?
Well,
impeach him
he's
before he
already
gets
sworn
removed?
in, right?
He's the
Would he get
incumbent,
sworn in
yeah.
again?
I mean, I've never seen Nino get sworn in again, so.
I don't remember. I wasn't allowed to go to those. Kept me on a tight leash.
We could be at a legislative standstill for weeks then.
We should call up Nino and ask him to run for the North. That would solve every problem.
That's my financier.
I don't think he's gonna.
That's a joke, by the way. Just so
Called Nino or Junior?
Nino.
Junior.
He doesn't even answer your phones anymore, man.
He doesn't.
Hey,
doesn't
what's
give-
going on?
Doesn't give a shit about me.
Michael?
Oh. Yeah, the bit's over.
Sorry, I've been running at like 40% for like all fucking week. It's been crazy.
I wasn't sure if you could still do the accent. I was going to be honest.
Me? I can't do the what a Nino accent?
Your true voice.
What do you mean?
Never mind. Moving on.
So Junior, Faceless, this legislation, which quite frankly is a boon to people, but you know, they want to fuck around, they'll find out. Man, I hope that no one doesn't do this, because that's going to be shit court cases. I'm going to be fucking pushing treason this, terrorism that, and then it's just going to be like a shit, what is it called? Like a crapshoot. So, because it's so
That's not the only one either.
interpretive.
It's not just enemies of the state. It's DEF CON, like you and I were talking about. There was also, so I would call it very critical legislation for the PD Leos Act for PMCs. All of this is on hold. Even, I don't know if you've seen the dumb fuck bill, but it's to effectively close some malicious loopholes in the contesting and legislative proposal process.
Yeah.
None of this can effectively happen.
I mean, the good thing is that none of these things, how do I put this? Enemies of the state would still go through like treason, terrorism, all the like, you know, old school way of doing it.
Yeah.
DEF CONs can still effectively be done, just it wouldn't be mandated, which just gives me more free reign, which is fine. You know, I'm not.
It would have to be
scared of him.
SOPs that align with state emergency legislation, right?
Well, kind of.
I mean,
okay,
you couldn't push it in law, right? It would have to be something that adheres to the existing law, and that's about it. There's no mandate for you to do it.
The problem is that the legislation gives me so much power as it currently stands.
Yeah.
And I tried to make more sense of it. So if people want to say skip, I mean, that's fine. I just go around deputizing fucking Darkstone actually for real. And then, you know, all these other things, which I'm not going to do. But like, if we're going to die, it's something I have to consider. But none of that I think is healthy for the state.
Grayson and I were actually just talking about how that is not the ideal avenue here.
No, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I mean.
Okay. Sorry to derail the conversation. So we spoke
you're
of
good.
the first topic and then Junior.
Yes.
Legislation. Is there anything else?
Let me give you the next thing. So I have the Inquisitor Benedetto Pellegrino from The Entity, which is a Vatican organization, came through today, and they're here to assist the survival camp outside of Polito. That actually doesn't mean they're talking about the hilltop, which is the name given to the nudist colony where a lot of survivalists go in the event of, you know, zombie stuff. They're receiving a delivery from Darkstone at Sandy Airfield that has holy relics. The relics are going to be delivered to the camp, and Mr. Pellegrino and his team are going to transport themselves from LSIA and depart from San Andreas. Let me kind of just shoot straight here. There are federal level things that are occurring. Like, for example, yesterday evening, I got contacted by the Los Santos defense something. And I got a federal email, like authenticating them, right? There's likely going to be more of that happening soon. I am trying to manage it the best I can to at least have their heads send me a federal email, right? Just to protect, obviously, myself, but then also others that may be involved. So, because I'm sure you understand, right? Like, if feds are bringing fighter jets in, what does that mean? It's, so we're trying to document it as best we can, but understand that some of that documentation might be weird. So,
okay.
how do you think that should be handled?
Like them bringing, they're bringing fighter jets to transport through here, or
well, so yesterday we got a bunch of military equipment. It got federal clearance. I don't think anyone's gonna fuck with that. But in the event someone
working
does,
alongside the marshals, though,
yes,
if you got some kind of oversight, then I'm okay with it. As long as we've got somebody involved, you know.
Yeah, so they've been very good about that. Yeah, they've been very good.
Goes through SASM, I have no issue.
Okay, very good. In terms of our documentation, I'm probably not going to bother putting it into a report because that can spiral into being more weird, right? Like, for example, even just this enemy of the state legislation, when we talk about, Federal's got to, it spurs conversations that are very difficult to have. So if someone ever challenges it, I can pull up, General Sab's email or something and take a screenshot, but I don't think we want to start translating shit like that.
I think the thing is, as long as you're willing to state what's happening, right? If you're like, hey, Brian, I am saying that this happened. I mean, that's good enough for us, right? Like, if you make a state of emergency, as long as you tell us or make a good effort to tell us about it, that's all we need, right?
Okay. Makes sense. Give me a second about that recommendation on Enemy of the State. I'm going to ask right now.
These holy relics, are they like best in slot, or what are we talking about?
That's a great question.
I think we could enchant our magic rings with them, or
you guys are fucking weird.
Okay, hold on.
I'm not the one talking about zombies and holy relics.
That is true.
Hold on a second. I want to ask: is the weapons and stuff that you're talking about, Brian? They're getting delivered here, not like.
Give me 1 sec. I'm hitting up the Senate real quick.
Brian, did anybody ever talk to you again since you became director about justice level oversight of marshal reports in case of FOIA contests?
That's a good question. Give me just 1 minute. I'm almost done banging out the email. Faces and other.
Hello?
30 more seconds.
Got that quick response time.
What are you smoking next, Michael?
Huh?
What are you smoking next?
I got to do a brisket this weekend.
How are you doing the brisket?
Smoked.
Oh,
Very, very low and very, very slow.
He's got
Do
a
you
really
have
nice
a
smoker.
special wood blend you use with it or anything, or just
It's called
go
the
with...
Supreme Blend. It's a mix of fruit woods and oak, I want to say.
Okay.
So it's a cherry, applewood, and oak. It's very nice.
It's always good to have the cherry in there to help the smoke ring.
Uh-huh.
I'm unbelievably jealous.
Yeah, you should be. You should get a smoker.
That's the plan. Yeah, the vacations are over for the year, you know? Spend money on a smoker.
Yeah, I heard about those. I was gonna say sorry I missed out on those vacations, but the truth is, I don't give a shit. No way in hell I'm attending.
I'd rather go to Vegas, to be honest.
I've never been. I hear it's fun.
Oh man, I love Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a second home for me.
I'm jealous. More of a Rome guy.
Not everybody's got Rome money, okay?
I got Rome family. I just stay with them.
Well, it's not cheap to stay out there. It's more so getting there.
No, that's true. You know, it used to cost me like $800 to fly round trip to Europe. Now it's like over $2,000.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least double.
And then I don't mean like 20 years ago. I mean like 5 years ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the worst. Actually, the worst. I mean, even like 10 years ago, before I had adult money, I'm like, oh man, these flights are so cheap. And going to the same fucking places, it's at least double.
Okay. I have fired off the email. We'll see how it goes. I think the thing that I'd kind of thought very deeply about and whether or not that'd be appropriate. I personally think it would be in this particular case because there is no good translative means to do so.
Yeah, nothing that we already haven't done. I mean, I tried with like saying like, even though they can submit it, like we have a very high bar of what we can accept. Like
the thing is, very high bar may not,
Yeah, it doesn't register the same.
Yeah, the way that I like to say it is they have to talk to your federal lawyer to see if this makes sense for you or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's always tough.
Yeah. When it gets like that, I think as long as you can just say, hey, look, the state's shipping in some munitions. Like as long as we know, no one's surprised, no one's shocked Pikachu about it.
Sorry, I meant the enemy of the state thing.
That stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So the deliveries are in the moment. I received a radio transmission, and then they dumped the weapons on like temporary, right? And we had to give them back afterwards. But okay, as long as I will make sure to manage that as best I can. Let's see. Is there anything else I got to bring up? Maybe I should ask, is there anything for us that you would like us looking into, things that you would like to see occur? I do want to be forward facing with some of these matters, and that is including doing a public oath ceremony, which may or may not happen based on scheduling, because I want people to know who our marshals are, right?
Well, I mean, I think the only obvious thing I have is, I go back a long ways with my counterpart in the North. So I suppose if there's anything my administration can do in these final days to help you in that investigation, by all means, reach out and let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
woe
Oh, yeah.
befall me for to say maybe you should take a page out of Gunnar Kane's book, but he knew how to,
Ugh.
you know, use the press. If you want, no, but if you want to get your names out, why not talk to the press and, you know, see if you can get your double page spread to, like, you know, relaunch the Marshals public facing.
Special edition of the Chronicle.
The man was slimy and kind of incompetent, but he knew how to
Kind of.
use the press, right?
Kind of is an understatement.
Yeah, big time.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, that is
That's
definitely
Into.
that is definitely something we want to do, though I don't think the press hits everyone. They're amazing. I think they're probably, you know, I want to see more people do stuff like that in that space. But you know, it's not everyone likes to pick up the newspaper. You know, they want to go to the next bank truck.
Well, and even then, there's something to be said about firsthand engagement with the people, right? So if you have an ability to get your new marshals in front of people,
assuming the swearing in and the voting will be Tuesday at around this time next week, right? Because the election will end on Monday, so assuming we get the results overnight from the government,
won't end on Monday.
Monday 8, right? No,
No, started on Tuesday and it'll end on
it
Tuesday.
started on Tuesday. Oh, okay. So it's Wednesday will be the announcement.
Wait,
Depend no, because it'll end on Tuesday at midnight UTC. So it depends if the guy can give us the votes in time or not.
Well, that's Monday for stateside.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, like
It was
late night Monday.
Right. Well, that's why Grayson's saying Tuesday.
Yeah. Like generally, the announcement's the day after, right?
Tuesday.
So
yeah.
Well, what I was going to do is going to say, well, like, you know, if we're going to get everybody up there for the observatory for the swearing in the mayors and stuff, if Brian wanted to drag a bunch of marshals up there to get their names out there, that might be a good time.
Yeah.
True.
I can certainly check. I have a delivery coming next week from Darkstone to install anti-electronic warfare devices.
Okay.
Archivist, radio, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it doesn't cover everything, but it's a step in that way.
Some security would be better than none.
Yes, it's
When are you getting turrets on the observatory?
I did request those as well. So
just like cargo bomb, a couple SAM sites up there.
Yeah. Oh, I also need assistance getting all the Marshall shit from Gunnar because he spends more time talking to Edgar de Castillo than he does filling any of us in as to what happened. Look, I'm gonna just be real with you.
You mean the vehicles or like
vehicles?
I've done the vehicles.
Oh my god! And then that's the next thing. This dumb fuck. I'd say there's a 50% chance right now. Likely has started his own organization. That sounds like treason. So there's that.
Brainless?
No, I don't know. It's some dumb shit, and some of the old marshals might be involved. So I'm throwing that out there just to be
himself
aware.
a patriot, and patriotism can quite easily lead to treason if you think you're doing the right thing.
Well, yeah.
You know, I thought the brainless was pretty funny, and not one of you guys here laughed.
No, I did internally. It's just I have no energy anymore. It's like I'm a zombie. I'm literally a zombie. You know?
Murray doesn't believe in those.
Okay, then there's the righting the wrongs of previous administration. So like I said, you'll be aware that nobody has any oversight at all over any martial reports other than you guys. We can't see them anymore, which means that we can't verify the evidence contained therein if you take things to court. The reason we were given at the time when Dark removed our access is, well, it's okay, we don't go to court anyway. I thought that was brain dead. And then
he said that?
Kane maintained that. Oh yeah.
No, it was slightly different. He said that people don't contest like FOIA denials from the marshals, and I said maybe if you went to court more than they would.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
I mean, I remember when Nino Chavez and Kyle Pred did.
Well, it also doesn't surprise me because he's also the one that ignored me when I got kidnapped a couple times by faceless people.
Yeah.
Didn't he ignore you at one point, Grayson? Something here in City Hall?
No, when I got assaulted and I made
Yeah,
a
yeah.
report. No, that was Gunnar.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even prepared to kind of enter into that conversation because we're still trying to manage collating everything. So what even exists in there is very difficult. In fact, I'm gonna go even further and say that the one thing that needs to be looked at is the roads law. I think it's.
I will be on Monday.
Oh, you will.
I mean, that's the forehead case.
Well, I mean more particularly, you have like what is it called? There is the what is roads violation based on? The fucking
Brady.
Brady is more well defined than our roads legislation, which I think roads is
Always was, yeah.
Yeah. And so my general concern is it's not clear what the barriers are, right? And so, man, I don't want to get too much into it because you guys are involved in that latest one. So I'm going to talk very generically. I think having more clarity as to the specifics of when it is and isn't is important so we don't have shit
I mean, that
burning out the very few people that actually work these things so they know what they need to be providing, what they don't. And when the breath is very long, it opens up to so much interpretation that without any resolution to that, it's not conducive to more court cases going up.
Yeah, I mean, that'll probably come out of this case that happens on Monday.
Okay, that's good. That's really good.
I'm not sure if it needs to be more case law, if it should just be legislated separately.
I would agree with that.
Proper legislation.
Yeah, it's like
it's clearly something that's happening every other case, right? So it's something that we probably should just legislate.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for like a year, and then they all just happened at once.
Yeah,
yeah, but that's the way this thing works here, right? All of a sudden, it's just every fucking case, and it's like, okay, big red light, big red flag, time to fix it.
Right, like, is something exculpatory? How do you know if it's exculpatory, right? Or what is the level of exculpatory? Like, there's so much undefinedness. Like, hey, this cop saw something. Why didn't they put the report in? Because what if it's exculpatory? It's like very. Then there's like the notion of, okay, I don't want to go too deep into it because of the court case, but like availability and access, right? You know, do you need to know what is publicly available? Does that need to be documented, right? It's just anyways, I'm in general agreement with you, Grayson, right? It's a lot of booby traps for an environment that may not fit, you know? So anyways.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a gotcha.
Yep. Okay, well, I don't want to take up more of y'all's time, but any other questions or things that I need to kind of have in my purview?
You said you've got rid of marshals. Can we know who they are so that they don't come to us and they're like, I'm still a marshal. Tell me this, this, and this.
Yes. So onboarded has been Duncan Fenwell, Kian McNulty, Sean Duncan, Jessica Springfield. Whom has been removed, Jessica White, Dakota Belltower.
Okay.
Ray Lee, Robert Anderson, Crystal Bordier.
Crystal Bordier was a marshal?
I guess, maybe.
I thought she was a doctor, wasn't she?
She was.
She was the one who did like the. What was it? What was that cop that?
Mason-Dixon.
Yeah, she was the one that was investigating the Mason-Dixon stuff.
And didn't do anything with the PD's fuck up. I don't have an opinion on that.
Um,
Another can of worms.
easy.
I haven't seen McAllister a lot recently. Is he?
Oh,
LOA
he's
or something?
suspended.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just some people need more time in San Andreas, and understand. He's been receptive to it. We'll see how he kind of cooks, but like I said, I'm dealing with a fucking ex-marshal fucking dumb fuck shit, and I am having to figure out whether or not to just drain the entire swamp and say,
Did you ever see that report that I made with which fucking one was it? It was I
Flores,
made it
wasn't
with Flores. Yeah, I made it with Flores. So basically, ostensibly, Gates had gone to use the bathroom facilities in the Marshals thing. Chris Peters had let her in to do it. The rest of the Marshals got their knickers in a twist over it and decided to come to City Hall and serve the justices with, stay the fuck out of our building. We're taking our keys back. It was a few months ago. It should contain my name. Flores made the report. So basically what happened was they showed up with cameras, right? They showed up with a news crew to film this guy Hobbler giving me this notice, right? I told him, hey, go stay away from me, don't touch me. I'm not accepting anything off you. You're not an officer of the court. You don't get to serve me with anything, right? I'm just testing him, right? I'm like, let's see what it is. And despite me vocally telling him, you have no business touching me, do not touch me, he still approached me and jammed things into my pocket. And I kicked off and I started complaining to Flores about him assaulting me in public, right? Like this dude was so badly trained, he thought he had the legal right to lay hands on me with no legal right to do so. I was seriously pissed off.
Wait, what do you mean he put hands on you?
I mean, he literally approached me and jammed things into my pockets without me telling him.
Wait, jammed what?
Fucking these bits of paper that said that he was serving us with notice that we weren't allowed there anymore. He jumped into me. I'm telling him, don't approach me, don't touch me, and he still put hands on me.
That's just a random book.
I was pissed off. Like poorly trained, right? Really poorly trained.
That is behavior I'm not good with, but look, I'm not gonna say that's a dangerous one, Grayson, if someone does that.
Okay, right. Here's the thing, right? But even though I can't articulate it as assault and battery because it wasn't violent, right? It is. If I was charging, I'd charge for harassment, right? Right. If I did that to you and I gave you an illegal gun and now you've got an illegal gun in your possession, you're now open to criminal charges. I don't know what the fuck he's giving me. If I tell you don't touch me, you don't fucking touch me. Unless you have a legal right to do so, right? And he had no legal right to put his hands on me. None at all.
Yeah, the whole behavior around it was just kind of weird.
This isn't one of those things.
Giggling about it
and bringing in news crew to record it happening and stuff. But like, yeah, it's not one of those incidents where like if I approach Michael right now and I give him something, right? He hasn't clearly told me flat out, don't touch me. But if I'm telling you don't touch me, like I'm telling you where my boundaries are, you have no right to then touch me, right? I don't know, man. It felt very fucking. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
Oh my god!
And if he's willing to do that to a justice on duty, what's he doing to random people on the street?
Oh, yeah, that was when they trespassed us from the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Gates got permission to go inside by Peters and take a piss.
Yep.
Oh. Oh. All I'm going to say is the basic training about, what a detention is and when you get to put your hands on people.
Yeah.
Some of them need that.
I'm not going to be cool with that. Look, I don't know where these people came from. And they I think it's like
I'm not even joking. I'm literally not joking. Both of those guys came from the Department of Corrections.
Hobbler did as well.
Yep.
Okay.
He was a cadet in the Department of
Hobbler,
Corrections when he got recruited.
I have to be considerate of the fact that a leader sets the tone. Sorry, give me a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, V.
Hey, Knight. So there was a through one earlier about Darkstone and a Vatican.
Mhm.
There's also possible small weapons being trafficked there too under the guise of medical equipment. And those people look like they're in medical. They kind of look like they're.
Wait, who's trafficking weapons?
I don't know,
Ooh.
but the plane coming in at some point today. That
So
They'll need to rewatch
my
it.
understand is that the Feds signed off on the Vatican.
The Feds signed off. Okay.
I don't know all the details of it. I know like Vatican's here. I mean, are there not marshals there?